Y'all know what it is. We back at it one more again. It's your boy, aka the Yellow Nose Man. I'm here with my nephews, Mr. C. Lewis,
Yeah, yeah.
aka Pardon My Truth,
Indeed. What's
Big
good?
Nate, aka the Credit Yoda. What's up with my nephews?
Hey, man. You already know how we do, baby. Action takers is the money makers, man. I appreciate you inviting me over to this platform, man.
Oh man, this ain't my platform. This our platform. I'm
Hey,
just a
man.
big
Listen,
ump.
listen.
I'm
Teamwork make
just a
the
big
dream
ump,
work,
man.
man. I appreciate you inviting me
All
into the
day,
house, then. I
all day,
appreciate you
every
inviting me to
day.
the crib. Yeah.
All right, so what we gonna do, man? We gonna give different perspectives around here on this mug, man. And we gonna get into what we call humble beginnings, right? I always like to start at the beginning and work to where
Oh, I like
people
that.
are now.
I like
You know what I'm saying? Because I think the story is in the beginning, not at the end. You
for
know what I
sure.
mean?
For
So,
sure.
we all entrepreneurs, man. And y'all the new generation of trailblazers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
y'all going through those trenches and coming from the backgrounds y'all come from and navigating to this what we might want to call foreign land, kind of navigate me through how you guys came up and made that transition from the trenches into the pasture.
Cool. Wait. Yo, credit, yo, you want to go first or you want me to, you know what I'm saying? I'll go ahead and just jump into it. Um, Man, how long we going to be on here? Cause that
we ain't got nothing but
oh,
time, man.
we
Time
ain't
is an
got
illusion.
listen, let me see. In a nutshell, um I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, man. I grew up in Connecticut, bro. I moved to North Carolina when I was around 12, 13 years old. Um I moved to York, Pennsylvania when I was around 19, 20 years old. Um and I experienced a lot I lived in Long Island, Mastic, New York. I've been a lot of places. I experienced a lot. But I said that to say my journey through just traveling through that, I noticed a lot of shit was just repetitive. Hustling, bustling, making $1 out of 15 cents. You know what I mean? Survival of the fittest. Nigga trying to stay alive. Mind you, I dropped out of high school. Um, so there was a lot of like shit struggle with me, man. Don't want to get too far gone, but I made some decisions, man. You know what I'm saying? I got children. I had children. My first son came when I was 20 years old. Um, that was different. Not having a father around, you feel me? So that was unmarked territory. I had to like learn myself, you feel me? So having him taught me the true meaning of fatherhood, responsibility. But it also made me realize, nigga, you ain't got too much going on. But I've been through a lot, spiritual journeys. Um, a lot opened my eyes to the world that was rhetoric, merry-go-round world that we come from, that I just wasn't cool with, that I ain't see myself accepting. I ain't see myself being too comfortable with um living. So me myself, I personally decided to make some decisions to become an entrepreneur, man. Seeing one of my good friends jump off the porch was a good motivator as well in the trucking industry. 2018, I would say 2018, I became an entrepreneur due to the homie becoming fond and well versed in the trucking industry. So I jumped out there, not knowing everything, just knowing that I was wanting, you know what I'm saying, some new things in life, wanting to experience making more money than I was making. So I fired Pepsi and got on the road. Um, but it opened my eyes to finances. Like nigga ain't know too much about finances, ain't know too much about savings and shit like that. Everybody heard of credit and stuff like that, but it didn't become important to me. Like finances didn't become like important like I think it should have been until I became an entrepreneur. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Why? Because every dollar counted, right? You know how when you 9 to 5 and at least you can hate your job while you at work, right? And be like, man, you even got the feeling of quitting. Like, I'm quitting this motherfucker. Get home, eat your food, and get over those feelings you had about work and go to work the next day. You had your, you know what I'm saying? You had your
For
set
sure.
schedule. You know what I mean? You had your shit going to where that feeling to go away after a while. But I developed this I gotta get to it type, you know what I mean, ordeal, because every moment counted, bro. If I can't go back to work, I fired Pepsi, you know what I mean? And I'm out here experiencing real life, like every dollar mattered, you know what I'm saying? So on top of that, you know what I mean, the trucking industry, it wasn't too pretty in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? My experience wasn't going to work for already established company like Long Star or Snyder and Swift, or established distribution companies like Walmart or whatever. I jumped out there with an entrepreneur that was, I mean, started his journey a year and a half before I came out there. So it was still early for him. So I was in those early stages experiencing that, like, damn, this shit real. Like, man, you got to get out here. We on the low board. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning how to talk to brokers, talk to professional people. Still not understanding the importance of it all, but it made a man out of me. That's when I became a man. When I jumped into the entrepreneur, I already had children, married, already out here. You know what I'm saying? But that shit made me a man. But another long story short, finances, like knowing that, damn, I was still penny pinching. I was still realizing, like, damn, bro, I came out here to struggle more, it seemed like. But I started to pinpoint what the issue was, and it was credit. It was being able to walk into a building and get access to anything. You couldn't do that off of a smile and even a nice wad of money. You couldn't even do that because they charging you shit that you know what I'm saying, we'll talk about on another live or something like that. But I realized that I ain't have no power, I ain't have no authority. You know what I mean? So once I figured out that credit was like, yo, this is where our issue is at. Having like buying power, having leverage, being able to not have to spend our own money. Damn, it's ways we can manipulate systems without spending our own bread. So I started to like figure that out. Like, oh shit, like credit can make everything happen for me to where I won't even have to worry about the money I'm making as I'm truck driving or whatever. Then I started narrowing down how businesses can get credit too. So it just blew my mind, the financial world, like the way that money move. And I come from hustling. You know what I mean? I come from the world of shit. Now I know how to make 20 to 40, 40 turn to 80, 80 in the once, you know what I'm saying? I knew how, I like that. I like how to make money multiply. So I was like, damn, this is cool. And I don't gotta break my neck. I don't gotta feel me. I ain't nervous about it. Ain't no police looking for me for this shit. So I was like, oh, this is it. So
Big
I told my bro, I told my brother, I was like, yo, man, I think I figured out I figured out a big hurdle for us. So I jumped out the truck after I figured that out, and I became this financial strategist dude, man. I told my brother, listen, I'm gonna put my own truck on the road. I put my own truck on the road and I let him run it. You know what I'm saying? Because he already got the numbers and shit like that. So we worked out in the middle where we do business together. And now I got a truck on the road, got a driver in there, and I just help people in the credit lane. But yeah, man, like
that's what's
that
up.
was kind of like a nutshell my journey into entrepreneurship, bro. Like in a nutshell. You know what I mean? And I knew like shit, they wasn't no going back. Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. Once you get in, ain't no going back.
Ain't no going back,
Credit
man.
Yoda.
Especially I figured it out. Straight up.
You still over there struggling?
Who that? Oh man,
coming in from the other side.
The credit Yoda. Yeah,
I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't hear nothing.
But now, yeah, my struggle from
we can hear you now.
The trenches to. You good, brother?
Yeah, we good. Go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, the journey from, I would say, from the pit to the palace. That's what I like to call it. From the pit to the palace, man. It was it's well worth it, man, because it's still some evolution going on, and as you grow, you know, once you learn that information is your key to success, bro, you never stop learning. So I'm knowing that this journey ain't gonna never stop. So man, I'm just processing this shit day by day, man, taking this shit one day at a time.
As you should, as you should. So Nate, aka the Credit Yoda, the question was kind of give us an overview of how you went, you know, your journey, how you came into this entrepreneurship.
All right, so my name is Nathan. I go by the Credit Yoda, and you know, basically, I was working a 9 to 5 at the time before I even started thinking about like working for myself, opening a business. I had a couple jobs, man. I had a lot of jobs. You know what I'm saying? I always, I ain't never lasted no job. I just tell you that, like, it get to the point where it's like, bro, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to do this. And then, you know, but then you looking for another job. So it's like you learn, like, you're going to leave one job, you're going to go to the next job, you're going to be there maybe 6 months before you get tired of this shit. You're going to go through the same shit. You're going to keep going through jobs. So it's like, all right, what you good at? What you like doing? So I was going through a breakup at the time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, I need to get myself in position. So I'm like, I got time now. I ain't got to worry about her no more. I could just worry about myself. So what I did was, you know, I just started studying. You know what I mean? I started getting the rooms. I think the first mentor, like, he don't even know he was my mentor, was like Runway Billionaire. Like, I was just listening to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, going on his Instagram lives, you know, investing in his like ebooks at the time. And to be honest, he really was the first person to tell you, send letters, like send them letters, send them things in and get that stuff off your credit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, let me try this. So I sent one letter, got some inquiries off. I'm like, all right, cool. This worked. And I just kept studying. And then you get into different rooms because then you link with him. And then he linked to Nehemiah. Then he linked to Circle of CEOs. Then he linked to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a domino effect. And then you start getting these rooms and you realize, like, yo, I really don't know as much as I thought I did. Like, the stuff they was teaching us in school, the stuff they was telling us to do, this is not what it is. So, you know, I remember the first time I ever asked a teacher about credit. I think I was in like my 11th grade year. And it was my drama teacher. I said, you know, what you know about credit? She's like, don't worry about that, baby. That's not nothing you need to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? That credit thing ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Just save your money, stack your money, use your money. So, you know, when you're a kid, you're not going to question. You know what I'm saying? You're like, all right, cool. Right. Nobody really about credit around me. Only time I did hear about credit is when my dad, like, you know, got my mom's credit right, like twice. So I don't know nothing about credit. Even when I get out on my own, like, I didn't have a credit card. I didn't have nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. So before I broke up with my ex, we got like 2 Discover credit cards. So I opened my, you know, I had like $200 on there. That's all I had. But shit, we random things, groceries and gas. That's all you could get at the time. So listen, you need gas? All right, here, take my card. We gotta get groceries for the crib. Take my card. That was the points that you get back on spending. So even at that, I did not understand even that. Like, I ain't even understand the points yet. The way I'm talking now was not. I was clueless. I didn't. I had a 680 for like 2 years, 3 years before I understood how to build and get my score better. Like, it was just stuck. Then I'm paying a minimum payment. I don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking, oh, I gotta pay. No, that minimum payment gonna keep you right here. That shit ain't going up. This shit ain't going down. This shit's stuck. So I'm like, okay, it got something more to this credit shit, man, because that shit ain't working. I'm asking my girl, I'm like, babe, how your credit going up to 700s? I'm stuck at 680. What's going? Babe, you gotta pay your card off. I'm like, it's deeper than that. So after me and her broke up, I really was able to sit down and read and lock in. So I'm reading. I'm learning about like reporting my rent to my credit, things like this. And as I'm learning, I'm working a 9 to 5 at the time. And you know, like, you know, when you find something out new, you just so excited to be able to just tell somebody this information. And one thing I will say is, like, everybody's not ready to go where you're trying to go or be where you're trying to be. And you're going to learn that early in entrepreneurship. Like, you can't, you know, Dick Gregory said it before, like, you can't force nobody to wear the glasses you elected to And when you keep trying to get people, oh, you need to get your credit right, or you need to do this, or you need to do, that's you trying to force your shit on them. If they ain't there, they ain't ready, they just not ready. So, you know, I'm telling my parents, I'm telling my friends, I'm on everybody, and it's like it's backfiring because these people are starting to, I guess they don't care for it. So it's like I don't even want to be around you no more. So I'm losing friends, I'm losing things, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm just trying to help y'all, but everybody don't want to be helped, and you sometimes don't even know that you're pushing people away because you're trying to get people to do, even though it's the right thing to do. You trying to get somebody to do something. If they not there yet. So once I figured that out, I'm like, damn, I'm really on my own now. Like I ain't got no friends no more because I started elevating my mind. I'm talking different. I don't want to, yo, bro, come on, we about to go smoke some weed and go chill. I don't want to do that no more. And then I want you to come educate with me, but you don't want to do that. So now I'm on my own. So I'm learning. I'm joining mentorships. Meet this brother. And like the first mentorship I took, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we didn't meet till close to the end of the mentorship. Like, I didn't even know he was in that joint. Like, so he popping this shit one day. I'm on live popping my shit. I go in his joint. He come in my joint. We just lock in after that. You know what I'm saying? And he probably the only person I've been this tight with in the credit game since I started. Like, you done had some relationships come and go, but I've been locked in with him. We done argued, we done fought, we done had not talked for a couple of days, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm like, damn, this is my real brother then. This gotta be my real brother. And I just don't know it because shit, you normally do shit like that with family, you know what I'm saying? But this gotta be my family then. Because my own family is not even trying to get on this. So when somebody said just because they got your last name don't make them family all the time, they could be a relative. Them strangers is the ones that's gonna take you to that next level. That's your family. You got people that you don't know from a can of paint that's willing to take the advice and take action immediately. You got people you done known for 29 years. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. But then they start seeing you flourish and you helping this person and you doing this and you doing that. And it's like, even now, like my mother and my father, I love them to death, but they still don't come to me. And there's my mom, she watches my Instagram. She watches my social medias. So just yesterday, she told me how proud she was, but I'm still waiting on the call. Like, Mom, when you gonna call me? When we gonna get together? When we gonna do this? I tried to do it on Mother's Day for her. She ain't want to do it. So again, I learned to back off and just work on me, get myself right. And you know, I started like once I got my credit to where I got it. My credit when I started out was a 584. You know, by the time I did get my first credit card, I had a 680, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, with that card, like I said, I just used it for what I could use it for. I only had money to get gas and groceries. I couldn't really do nothing with it. I didn't even know about a limit increase. I didn't know what that was. You know what I'm saying? Until I got into the credit game, which in my opinion, this credit shit didn't start taking off until like 2019 type time. You know, and that's when everybody started getting on board and learning and doing different things. And you know, so like I don't know, the 1 year, like I think it was 2019 going into 2020, my credit just keep going up. Just keep going up. Just keep going up. Just keep going up. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, this is different. Like, this is crazy. So I'm reporting to rent at the time. I walked into the dealership one day not knowing shit. I didn't know nothing. I just got the car. All I remember them saying is if you pay this on time, you're going to have an 800 credit score by the end of the year. Now, going to get my car, I went to the dealership, but see, I went there, and when I came out of there, I went and got my car refinanced. They took it from an 8 to like a 3.5 or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, my payments got cheaper. My credit's shooting up even more. I'm like, yo, so I'm writing this stuff down on a journey. Like, okay, this is what happened to me. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is how I did it. But now I know better. Don't ever go to the dealership again. We're going straight to the bank now, get the check. We're going back to the dealership, and we're going to do it like that. Okay, I get that now. So boom. All right, credit business. Now I'm going to be real. I'm going to be transparent. When I first got in this credit game, I was doing FTC. I was CFPB because that's what was getting taught. You know what I'm saying? I met, you know, part of my truth, C. Lewis. And he happened to have a bright, you know, young king as a family member who We was doing a Zoom class. I forgot what happened, but I think me and him was hosting a Zoom class or something like that. And at the end of the class, you know, his name is Zoomer, the young king. He told us, yo, stay behind real quick. I want to show y'all something. So we in the Zoom call. And he just like, you can't lead a call until you can be able to tell me something about these laws that I got you reading. So, you know, I started learning about consumer law and stuff like that to learn how to use the laws to dispute my credit instead of using the FTC and the CFPB. And it's not that it's bad to use that. It's just you're using it out of order, meaning that you don't do no FTC and CFPB first when you disputing your credit. You got to go through the levels and the steps first. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped doing the microwavable way. And I only really did it on me. I really never did it on a client. You know what I mean? I did it on me. So when I did it for me, it worked for me. But that was back in 2019. We in 2022 going to 2023. That shit don't work no more. Right? So, you know, he just taught me the right way to do things. To be in this business, you need to do the stuff the right way because all you got is your name. And when your name get tarnished in the credit game, it's over. You know what I mean? And that's what any business though. That's not just credit. Like all you have is your name. And what people call you. Like, so if I'm out here lying and being fraudulent and telling you to do this when that's not the real way, I'm not credible. You know what I'm saying? So I learned the laws. I studied that shit. I mean, I was up 3 a.m. I got work the next day. 3 a.m, 4 a.m, studying. I got to be to work by 6, not caring. Like I'm going to work with bags under my eyes. I'm crying because that you learning the truth too. And like you really learning like, yo, you're being used as a slave every single day of your life. You've been getting used since your mom and daddy pushed you out. They don't even know that they getting used. Like, that's why I broke down because it's like, I can't be, I was mad at them for the longest time because I'm like, why the fuck y'all not telling me this? Why y'all didn't teach me this? But then again, I had to, oh shit, they don't even know this shit. So how you gonna be mad at somebody who don't know something and not understand? I can't teach you what I don't know. So, like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like, we really slaves in this thing. And then again, you got information. You so excited. I go on Instagram Live. I'm telling everybody. I'm telling all my friends. I'm telling everybody around me. And it's like, bro, that ain't it. So by the 8th day, I go to the mall and I'm in the store. And what I started doing, I was just talking out loud with people. So a brother tapped me on the shoulder, was like, yo, come here real quick. Let me come sit down with me. So this guy was in the feds for about 5 years, and he was able to beat his case using UCC. So I'm like, what? I didn't even know this part of the law yet. I'm on FCRA and FDCPA only. I didn't know truth and lending even yet. I didn't know none of that. So he tell me, listen, man, you know your shit. You need to sharpen up some more, and you got to learn, like, stop talking this shit out loud. Like, I know you excited. You want to help people. But listen, what it say in the Bible? Don't it say you can't save everybody? God not coming back to save nobody neither, right? So what make you think you're going to be able to do it? You can't do it, man. And this is not for the weak-minded. This is for the woke-minded. If you've had that awakening and you want to understand what you're trying to say, these people don't understand you, and they're looking at you like you boo-boo the fool because they haven't been awakened yet. They still in the matrix world. So the way he talking to me, I'm like, I understand, but then I don't. But then I really like sat there and listened to him. I'm like, oh shit, but he actually right. Like the people who really know this shit, they not out here on social medias. They not out here doing that shit. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. You think a billionaire is going to reach his hand down to a poor person and say, hey, come on, I'm about to give you $1 billion. We're going to get you right. No, hell no. You got to figure this shit out. So it's like, okay. Basically, the last thing he told me was, yo, calm it down a little bit. You're going to be fine. You're going to get it. So then after this, maybe a month later, on some spiritual shit, I walk into a female, and I didn't believe in this type of shit, but then like she told me some shit. She's like, you're always going to be good when it comes to money. You don't got to worry about that. But if you don't get that negative shit from around you or whatever, because at the time I was going through the breakup, so I was hurting, and you could tell. But I was trying to push through that by doing the credit and working out and going to work every day, but you could see it. So she was like, if you don't let this fucking hurt go, you gonna fuck yourself up. And the way she said this shit to me, I'm like, how the fuck you know? I never even said nothing to her. I didn't tell her nothing, just out of nowhere. Like, if you don't get over this hurt, you're gonna screw yourself. So I'm like, yo, that night I went home, I sat with myself. I said, God, I don't know what you're trying to wake me up to do. I don't know what you're trying to wake me up to see, but I need you to reveal it. Go down the line. Something came on my credit. I disputed it. I used the laws. Shit worked. I gave a client some information. Shit worked. I'm starting to see results. Shit working. I'm starting to let the hurt go. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling like so what I'm telling y'all is everything was a spiritual situation for me when I came into all this. Everything has been a spiritual relationships with different people. I don't know, like the universe will really bring you around the people you're supposed to be around once you get out of the mindset or the negativity that you're around. And that's like, it's hard to explain because, again, everybody is not here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even I still do it now. Sometimes I get so passionate where I'm like, yo, but again, you trying to force your glasses on somebody else. And like us, we stay up all night studying, doing work in the office, doing this, doing that, keep sharpening. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't willing to do that. A lot of people not willing to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I was just telling King before we got on this stream, if anybody goes to YouTube and watch the Mamba Mentality flip, I think it's like 5 to 8 minutes long, where he talk about if you wake up early and start your day, you can get everything you need to get done. I was working out 3 times a day when the dude that came in behind me was only working out 1 time a day. So by the time I hit year 10, I'm doing so many workouts, you can't catch up to me. You can't keep up. So from what I got from that is, if I stay diligent, no matter what I do, and I stay focused and I keep going, no matter what I go through, there's going to be pain in entrepreneurship, but just keep going. And you're going to get ahead of everybody that you thought that was ahead of you. You'll be able to get ahead of them, no matter how long they've been in the game. But you got to put the work in. You got to stay up a little later. You got to get up a little earlier. And after that, man, like everything started taking off. Like I started walking on faith, and even with my business, like I've had maybe a couple times where I was like, I'm about to apply to a job. I don't know, this shit ain't working. Like, I don't know. Like, but then again, I would say, like, I went back to when I did work a job. Was you happy? Was you angry, or was you angry every day when you got off? And I don't want to go back to that. So it's like, you got to make this work the same way you made that 9 to 5 work when you applied for on Indeed.com. You was doing application after application after application after application. Then somebody called you. Then you go to all these interviews and shit like that. So if you're willing to do that shit for a stranger or the slave master, now you got to come back and do this shit for you. You started a business. You did your job application. You started a credit business. That was your job application. So now you got to study everything about the business side. And then you got to be able to impute all of this to a client and be able to look at a client's profile. And from rip, you should know how to read that shit and be able to tell them whatever is wrong with it within the first 5-10 minutes of them being on your consultation. Now, if you can't do this shit, then this ain't what you need to be doing. So at first, it's been times I done quit. I done got down on myself, and because it's like, this shit ain't working. I'm not getting clients. This shit ain't, what's going on? Why? But that's just the test. You know, you can't ask for something.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So let me ask y'all this, right? So the reason I asked that question, because like I said, the story is always in the details, right? Because most people that decide they want to be an entrepreneur see it for the glory in what they seen somebody else do, right? And I wanted to point out the fact that although you are an entrepreneur, it took shit that you had to go through to get there. Whether that be, you know, going through it with your parents, being in the hood, being hungry, you know what I'm saying, a suck-ass job, having to be a parent before you needed to be a parent, like all these mistakes you make that build up that you don't even realize is building up to that change of becoming an entrepreneur. Because we always look at those things, and although they are traumas, most times we don't deal with those traumas, one, and a lot of times we don't recognize that they are traumas because it's normalized in how we grow up. And it's a commonality across a lot of people that look like us. It's not like we outliers. Like, we ain't outliers. The outlier is once you recognize it, you switch up and then you do a 360 and then you start being on the other side. That's the outlier, because a lot of people don't become the outlier. A lot of people don't become successful in entrepreneurship to be able to sustain their livelihood and do it on a consistent basis year over year over year. And we would always, like you said, like you was mad at your parents for not teaching you something, but they couldn't teach you something they didn't know. So like, and I say this because it relates to me, right? Like when I got to the point where I had to evaluate a situation and I look back and I say, okay, I look at my grandparents and they grew up in Louisiana. They did, my grandfather, I think he didn't even finish, grade school. You know what I'm saying? He was already working in the field, taking care of his sisters and brothers. So when you look at that generation was about survival, because it wasn't about education or anything like that. But when they started having kids and they started raising their kids, they was teaching their kids how to survive. But in that generation, they had access to more schooling. Make sure you go to school. Make sure you get your education, because I need you to be better than what I was. But they make the same mistakes too, because like my father was, my mother and father was on drugs, because they grew up in that era where it was flooded in, during them 70s, in the early 80s, you know what I mean? That's the era they came up in when they was becoming adults. So now they fall into the same sacrifices and shit that come with being in that environment. So they didn't even learn. It was always, save your money, put it up, put it in the bank, all this. Now you, at the time you're learning it, you think it's the right thing to do because you seen whatever they had, a house or wherever they was living at, and you figured they got that by doing that. But then the first time where I knew it was different is in school. When you used to go on field trips or you played sports and you went to another school on the road and you go to an all-white school and you see how they school look compared to your school. You see the things that they had compared to what you had. And at that point, you realize it's a difference, but you don't even know what that difference is. But you know that it's a difference. So then you start thinking that maybe you can't obtain that because you think that you putting a monetary value on it because society is putting a monetary value. They telling you this is where the rich people live at. They tell you this is where the wealthy people live at. Then they tell you that everybody live over here is white people. And you buy into that mentality. So you, in most cases, now you start looking at yourself as less than these individuals. When all actuality, the only difference between y'all is information. So only thing difference between us, them, and them different things. And then as I got older and I started getting into different circles and start exploring outside of my community and having talks with other individuals, you start realizing that they're not even as smart as you thought they were. So then you start saying, like, okay, hold up, time out. I've been told all this shit, and then math ain't mathing. Now I'm in situational awareness. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm evaluating everything. And when you start evaluating everything and don't take it for a face value of what you see compared to what you've been told, you start moving different. And when you start moving different, each generation gets stronger and stronger. So the point I'm saying, like my generation to your generation is going to be stronger than my generation. Because the time is different. When I was coming up and I was coming through the entrepreneur trenches, getting it out the mud, it wasn't no social media and all that type stuff. Like MySpace was like, this was like me coming out of high school. Like MySpace was the hot thing. And in MySpace, it wasn't nothing about no damn education. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no education. MySpace was freaking the whatchamacallit. It was the
All music.
it was the dating scene. Yeah.
Wait, no,
It was a music platform and dating
like
scene.
Yeah, it was
What
like a
was
date
it?
scene. It was a music platform. You showed off your page theme and how your page theme looked.
Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Same stuff now.
Wasn't it something before MySpace called Black something, Blackout or something like
Black
that?
Planet. Yeah, Black Planet. Yeah, even that wasn't number international. That wasn't number national. That was domestic dating. That's all that was. You could just like pictures come up on Instagram and chicks taking pictures. It was the same thing, but they was the different state, different area. You know, messaging in the box. It was the same thing. It wasn't no education platform. But even though that same element is in today's society, but today's society has education mixed in with it too. So even though a lot of people, be on that pump faking, it is still, they can still speak on something that spark a thought that you can go build off of. Even in the pump fake, because they don't have to necessarily be doing what they talking about, but what they talking about can still be factual or elements of being factual.
That was one tough pill for me to swallow. Yeah, that was one tough pill for me to swallow, that there's actually people on here that does that. That's not authentic.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's people that talk about things that they don't actually do themselves. Yeah, they regurgitating what they heard, but they're not applying it because they don't even understand it yet. So, and that goes back to what Nate was saying, like when he got into the information, he was trying to tell everybody. But at that time, he was trying to tell everybody he didn't even have all the pieces yet. And what you have to do, like for me, like over time, I would, because I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't like that. When I first got into it and I could apply what I was learning, man, I was trying to tell everybody. I was beating my headaches. Man, listen to me. Screaming from the mountaintop, listen to me. Yeah, but I don't want to hear that shit.
Real shit.
So then,
real shit.
But I'm gonna fuck you up though, because that perspective of why they don't want to hear it is because they caught up in whatever they going through in life at the time. Absolutely. And it don't coincide. It don't coincide with what they going through. And the reason being is what you talking about ain't fit to fix their immediate issues.
Yep, and man hate what they don't understand.
So that's why you see people out here, even in the credit space that y'all in, certain people you talk to, you know what I'm saying? When you talking to them and you trying to consult them and give them, the wisdom of how it's supposed to be, they not trying to hear that because they want their results right now. I'm trying to buy a house next month. Why? Because I seen over here somebody just bought a house on an FHA program with 3.5% down, and I want a house too.
You can give me results in 30 days.
30 right, days? All of that. That's that information overload because they hearing different pieces from all over the place. Like I was just on a call the other day, and the chick was talking to me about funding, and everything she was talking about was fraud related.
Listen, let me tell you something. I had a client today. I just called C. Lewis before I was going to the gym. This is after the fact. I don't even remember, but I told him, I'm like, bro, where do these people think like you gonna pay me to dispute for you and then you gonna go pay the late payment? Bro, you know how they looking at this shit in the reporting agencies? Like, okay, you sent the letter, but you just paid the debt. Like, what you doing? I thought it wasn't yours.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no different than, I'll tell you, you don't spent the last 20, 30 years fucking your credit up when you want it fixed in 20 minutes. These last 20 years, you've been irresponsible. These last 20 years when it came to money management, all of that. But now all of a sudden you woke up responsible this morning and you want responsible results because you woke up responsible this morning.
Nigga sent me a clip off of YouTube of a lady doing a 48-hour deletion off her whole credit report. And guess what it was?
Probably 609.
No, it was FTC.
It's probably 609 FTC.
He like,
and you do this long enough, bro. You do this long enough, and when you hear certain things and you see certain things, you be already knowing what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's muscle memory. You be like, oh man, not this again. And you hear somebody else saying, you be like, oh man, they capping. They capping. You know they capping.
Yeah.
When you see the advertisement, you know they capping. They just trying to make $1.
Yeah, we in
Because it's I say it all the time, bro. It's a difference between entrepreneurship and hustling. A lot of people just hustling.
Yeah, I feel like we in I feel like
That's a good point.
I feel like from 2019 to now, if you notice the credit game is way different than it was in, I'm gonna say, what, 2019. We was running this shit
at any time in life. it's different than any time in life.
Yeah, this because listen, credit. When I first got in this, to dispute some shit didn't take this long. Shit, 7 days. 7 days, shit was off. All right. Then
Bruh,
on top of that,
it's some look. Hey, I'm a big advocate, right? Some shit ain't meant to be said. You know what I'm saying? Some shit ain't meant to be said. And here's why some shit ain't meant to be said. Here's why. Let's just say C. Lewis finds out how to take off inquiries in 15 minutes with one phone call using certain verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
C. Lewis has the sauce now.
mm-hmm.
So C. Lewis can monetize that in duplication as many times as he chooses to, and it'll be effective because only C. Lewis knows how to do it. Once C. Lewis goes on Instagram for clout and start talking about doing it or trying to sell it as an ebook, his process just became ineffective for clout, likes.
Because now you got over 100,000 motherfuckers that's about to see this shit. And so now
blowing the phone up.
What you just said. So guess what? Like I say this shit about banks all the time. Like, I know, like, people get information and we want to help everybody and we want to put everybody in position, but there's a reason.
No, you don't want to help him. No. We ain't gonna let you slide that in. I mean, I'm not talking about you particular, but I'm saying in general,
right?
Nobody don't want to help nobody and put them in a position. They want to get something out of it for themselves.
I need something in return.
Some form amount of stuff.
You think that? Hey, look. You think that doctor will perform surgery?
If you ain't paying?
If he wasn't getting paid?
Hell no, they gonna fuck you up. Your ass might die on that table fucking around with their money.
Damn skip,
and that's the point I'm making. So you see it all out here on the internet all the time that people talking about, oh, go get this file this form, send this document, trust this, trust that. You know what I'm saying? SPC process, all the shit you see, you know what I'm saying? That you see that you got people blindly sending in documentation to these organizations and all over the place. And then you expect to get a result that was effective prior to you running your mouth. Because you want to be put up on a pedestal as the person that said, this is how you do it.
You know, the jacked up part about this is, and this is the only thing that gets me, whether you talking about the consumer law, the Torah, whatever, it's like people will feed you breadcrumbs just to make you have to crawl your ass back to get some more answers. It's like, if you really for people, you want people to get, like you just said, everybody don't want everybody to win. I get that, but it's like, if I'm in the lane and I'm saying I'm a specialist now, and I'm trying to give you everything I can give you. So when you leave me, and I know everybody don't think like me, but I just look at it like this: if I'm a specialist, I'm this big boy, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing shit like that. It's like, I just feel like, if the real game, like you notice how it went in the levels. First, credit was talked about, then they left it.
Mm-hmm.
We get out of the credit. Now we doing stocks. Then we get out of the stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now we talk about real estate. Then we talk about trust funds and life insurance. And you got 50 million people talking to you about life insurance, trust funds, this, that, and the third. And not saying that the information they're giving out is wrong or if it's right, but at the same time, it's like, you know our culture of people.
Mm-hmm.
Soon figure out how to make a bag out of it. Is you don't give a fuck if the shit work or not.
Exactly, and that's my point.
Like
that's the problem. That's the problem. Like if you, just like you said, like if you're, and this is, but that's where it's going to be the difference between somebody's like you that has, you know, it purpose driven, that this is what you actually have a passion for and doing, going to outweigh everybody else, because everybody else going to become a one-trick pony. And you're going to see it. You're going to see somebody that's today talking about one thing, and when that thing no longer is viable or non-effective, they're going to be talking about something different. You'd be like, damn, your whole channel was about this yesterday. Now you over here talking about something totally different. Because your customer starts to fall off. You might have been good at verbal. You might have been good at sales. You might have been charismatic and draw people to you. But at the end of the day, the people that you draw to you, if they're not leaving you fulfilled, they're not coming back. People, you're going to be out here stuck.
That's why I be telling people, like, you know, I say this on live a lot now. You know, people take it wrong. It's like, I don't care if you my mom and dad, I'll leave your ass behind. I'm not like, who's really going to leave their father behind? I'm not literally saying I'm going to leave my mom. If I get billions of dollars, I'm going to say, fuck y'all. No, what I'm saying is, as you get on the journey of whatever you're trying to do in the direction you going in, you got to leave motherfuckers where they are at. Because if I keep trying to get you to get on while I'm trying to get on, it's not going to work like that.
You ain't going to get nowhere. Yeah, you're not going to get nowhere.
I ain't going to get nowhere. So it's like
you're gonna allow their dead weight to tack on to your dead weight, man. Though, because we all carry some type of baggage that's unnecessary until we get to where we're going. You know what I'm saying? So tacking on someone else's unnecessary baggage and luggage, bro, just don't help the journey. On top of us, you know, elevation means going up. You feel me? When you say you're going higher, that means you're fighting against gravity. So when you fight against gravity on top of carrying your luggage, your baggage, then they're unnecessary shit. That's where that weight come from. You start feeling that weight and shit. Like, same thing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once I started getting on my journey, you know what I'm saying? From the trucking game and getting in tune with the mastermind and then understanding finances and seeing how we're poverty stricken, right? When I started realizing all that shit, I started tuning into the fact of how we look at money. How we use physical energy to go chase something that's spiritually, that's a spiritual thing. I don't care what nobody say. Currency is a spiritual thing. To be wealthy, you got to be spiritually right. You got to be in some type of mindset spiritually in order to obtain a certain level or a certain access to a certain level of value. And physical energy is not attached to that level of value. That's why there's a cap on working. That's why they put a cap on you being able to obtain money with your physical mobility. 50, 60, 60, what? 65 is the cap. But think about that. Like, how old is Warren Buffett? Right? He ain't stopped working yet. Feel me? Mentally. And I know anything that's connected to mental, if you doing the right things, right? If you challenging the right brain cells or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? You will start spiritually inclining towards the knowledge that gives you access to revenue. You feel what I'm saying? So there's no way, when I started thinking like that, I was like, yo, there's no way that physical energy is supposed to be used to be obtaining money. Physical labor is slavery. I don't care what you're doing. No offense to no one, but it's just the facts. It don't make sense for us to be doing physical laboring for something that's connected to a spiritual source, which is currency, energy. And energy moves, you know what I'm saying? So once I started thinking like that, bro, I stopped chasing. Like, damn, you know, niggas will think like that. People will think like, damn, I ain't making enough money. What you think? I gotta get another job. I need 2 jobs. Or you'll go ask boss, like, yo, can I get an extra shift? Or I need 20 more hours this week. Because we physically connected to money. Instead of thinking, with a spiritual sense or informative, like, yo, how can I make more money without physically laboring? You feel what I'm saying? So I fell in love with this strategy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
Us,
it is?
like that mindset, that poverty mindset, bro. Like, and it's that, like, we poverty stricken. We're poverty stricken, and I don't care what nobody say as far as like this. There's a such thing of the rich and wealthy having stress, right? And there's a such thing as the poor and poverty stricken having stress as well. You just got to pick your plate of stress and the level you want to play on, man. And I never been one to settle. You know what I'm saying? And the more you grow, right? You know how you think you know so much, and then when you learn something different, you realize you ain't know shit at all. Like, you ain't know nothing at all. And the smarter I get, the dumber I feel, bro. The smarter I get, the more ignorant I become. I'll be like, yo, what the nigga you want? And you ain't no shit.
You know,
You
another
thought
thing.
you knew.
Yeah, because it's the thing about you forever learning. You're gonna
Forever.
long as existent, you're gonna be forever learning.
And now I hear my uncle used to tell me, I used to be like, yo, uncle, man, why you in my business? He'd be like, boy, you ain't got no business, nigga. You make arrangements. You don't got business. What kind of business do you have? You make arrangements, bro. Like, you off the fly. That's it all started making sense to me. My uncle like, man, you off the fly with what you do, bro. You ain't a real man, makes plans, makes a business strategy, right? A nigga that's just out here hustling and bustling, he just get out the bed, go piss, eat some cereal, probably not, and he just out here hustling.
What my mama
said, grinding.
You piss and eat,
because he ain't got no touch, he ain't got no spiritual intelligence or no wisdom to get out here and make no business about himself. So that's what I connect hustling to. And then the niggas that hustle, they got to grind about themselves, but it's about $1. It's about I gotta go here, I got to do this, make this hustle, make this bustle. But a man that's spiritually inclined, and I ain't talking about no religious shit, I'm talking about just informed. He at ease. Why? Because he got a strategy. He got plays. He know how to make plays to make money. So he ain't out here like, man, you know what I mean? That's what
exactly.
Like, I don't never want to hustle no more. Ever.
So let me ask y'all this, right?
Don't
so let
ever
me ask
call
y'all
me a
this.
hustler.
Let me ask y'all this, right? It's a deep one, right? So in the mindset of an entrepreneur, right? And being that you constantly learning, what would be, let me see how I want to put this.
You want to go first, C. Lewis, or you want me to?
I'm letting Unc figure out the question. He listen. He done lean back. Look. Lean back in the chair. Yo, listen. You know niggas thinking. Only niggas do shit like this. Only niggas that think do shit like this right here. Niggas that think this. It's like 3 of them. We do this one right here. We do this one. When we in deep thought, we do this one. You know what I mean? And then niggas that spread their legs. They spread their legs and be like, let me think real quick. Real tough. So Unc look like he got wait, let Unc ask the question first, bro. Let him ask the question first.
Okay.
All right, so here it go, right? So we make this transition and you knee deep in it now, right? Do you feel that it is easier than what you thought coming in?
All right, so for me, what I'll say is this: entrepreneurship, just like life don't come with a manual, neither does entrepreneurship. Yes, you might get a mentor, but at the end of the day, the work is on you. Your mentor can tell you to their blue in their face what to do, how to do it, give you a roadmap, everything. If you don't apply step by step what they said, you is not going to get it. And this shit is not like a 9 to 5. See, with a 9 to 5, you go to work at 9 in the morning, you get off at 9 at night. You get off at 9 in the morning, you getting off at 5 in the afternoon, most likely, right? But then you still got to come home and do a 6 to 12. What's the 6 to 12? That's for you. And most of us not doing the 6 to 12. We just do the 9 to 5. We think that's going to solidify us for the next 50 to 60 years or whatever. When in reality, if you live in the United States, which you understand this is a business, then that would mean that you need to start a business of your own, because everything that is around us, even where you live, what's around where you live, it's all businesses. So in order for me to be up with the 1%, I gotta what? Take this intellectual property that's up here, put that shit on paper, go apply the information and make that shit into reality. Anything you could think mentally, you can make it into the physical. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having a 9-to-5, in my opinion, now that I look at shit, it was never hard. Because at the end of the day, whether I showed up to work doing good or not, I still got motherfucking paid. So you could be the shittiest worker at the 9-to-5, you still get your check every week, every 2 weeks. But when you come into entrepreneurship, there is no half stepping. There is no cutting corners. You cut corners, your ass get cut short, right? So you're going to fall many times on this journey. I promise you that. Nobody is just coming an entrepreneur and say, hey, I'm going to do this. This is what I want. This is how I want it. And that's what it is. No, you got to go through some shit to get it. Because think about it. I mean, it's the law of physics. If I ask somebody for something, whether it's God, my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, whomever, I got to give something back, don't I? Sometimes it may be loyalty. Sometimes it may be some money, some currency, some type of informational exchange or whatever. But nothing is free. Nothing. Not even entrepreneurship. You know why it's not free? Because entrepreneurship, if you really want this shit, you got to invest into you before any mentor is going to give you any information. You got to make the investment. So if you don't want to invest in your business to maybe get, like, for instance, for credit restoration, all you really need is a laptop, a cell phone, a printer, some paper,
and some Wi-Fi, some internet.
That's when you're starting. As you gradually get into the game more, you start learning about business partners, virtual assistants, business operating agreements, learning how to move as a proper entity. If you just getting into the game of what you're getting into, I'm not mad at you because you're not all the way structured properly. But as you're going along, you're supposed to be learning. You're supposed to be taking initiative and accountability for things. In business, you have to take the accountability as a boss. That's another thing I learned. No matter who fuck up, it's on you. It falls on you. This is not the 9-to-5 where you and John was in the back room and John fucked up and you can go, hey, John did it. No. Somebody fuck up in your shit, you got to take accountability for everything that go wrong because you the owner. And that's the difference between having a 9-to-5. See, when you got a 9-to-5, everybody want to get paid like the boss. But let me say this. When that boss started that business, did you give him any ideas? Did you invest any money? No, the boss did that. That's why the boss get the big pie first. Then everybody else get, and when you in your own business, you don't get paid first. Everybody else get paid first. But 9 times out of 10, the boss is taking a big piece of the pie home once they get to the level they got to be at. In the beginning, it's not like that. You don't get paid shit really in the beginning. You might get paid maybe when you might do your payments maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once a week. But everybody else in the business got to get paid before you touch anything. And that's something that I just feel like when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's not hard. It's just about being consistent. I go to the gym every single day. I already got it in my mind what type of body I want, how I want to look. So in order to look that way, what do I got to do? I not only got to be disciplined in the gym, but I got to come out the gym and and see Lewis going to understand me when I say this. The hardship about going to the gym every day is not going to the gym. It's when you leave that motherfucker. Where's your discipline at? Because now you're going back into the matrix world. You're not in the protective cavity of the gym. So all the bad food, as soon as you walk out of every gym, most gyms is around bad food. So you got to look at that shit. You hungry as hell when you walk out the gym. You hungry as shit. But you know damn well you just did a whole workout. Your body's starting to look how it is. You go eat this shit, you back to where you was before. That's the same thing as business. When shit go wrong, everything going right, and then you hit that speed bump. This is where most people are. And I don't know, man. This shit ain't. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can get it going. I done maxed out some credit cards trying to get this business together. I ain't making no money in the last 2-3 weeks, and it's when you about to quit.
I would say this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. But I would say what it sounded like. What you said was in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not know everything, right? You might come into this motherfucker like blindfolded, you know what I mean? But you started, you took the initiative, you wanted to get it done, you wanted to get some shit done. Like bro said, like you come in, oh damn, it's virtual assistants. Oh, I can make money just having Wi-Fi, laptop, cell phone. Damn, it's levels to this credit shit. Like, oh damn, it's more than you know what I'm saying? Like having good credit, you can liquidate credit cards, manufacture a spend, you know what I'm saying? The interest rates start changing, you start being able to walk away with 0 down payments. Business bank accounts. What the fuck is a trade line? What the fuck is a authorized user? You start learning the lingo and language. So to me, it got simpler. It got real simpler. It didn't get easy at all. Like, cause shit's still hard. Like I'm still like, bitch, where my vacation at? Where my AP at? Where you know what I'm saying? Because I'm making ducats.
And see, the reason I left it, and here's the reason why I left it open-ended. That's what I was pondering on, of making an open-end question as opposed to a pinpointed question. So now here's the other end of that question, right? When I said, is it simpler or is it easier? What I meant is from the comprehension standpoint of being an entrepreneur and building wealth to achieve those things before you was an entrepreneur that you used to see that you always wanted. Now that you're in it and you see the simplicity of what money can get you. Before that, we was all, I don't care who you are, you was always chasing that million number.
Yep.
I want to be a millionaire. I want to do this. I want to be a millionaire. But now that you're in it and you done learned zero interest, how to leverage, how money works, how you can get it, how easy it is to obtain, how it can be transferred into real estate, how it can be transferred into stocks and all those different things. And now you look at it, right? And you take all that in. Now you realize that big number don't really matter. What I like to get there,
And then that $1 million ain't no money.
Exactly.
You start seeing that
and I say that right. So I say that to say this: we always tend to focus on the big thing.
Yes. Sir.
And what happens when you focus on the big thing and you don't make it there? You diminish yourself and the energy that you putting into something because you feel you.
Wasn't we just talking about? I was just saying. I posted on my story earlier too how it hit me, man. Like going to the gym this morning. Like I mean, it literally hit me because I transparently I was having my moment today. I think all week I was having a moment of I need my shit. I've been grinding for a long time. I need me. You feel me? Just that moment. Like I'm paying drivers, I'm paying VAs. I'm making money, but this shit going like this.
Yeah, exactly.
In one hand to the next. You know what I'm saying? But I thank God. Why? Because I got a lot of overhead and it's paid. Feel me? I got a lot of children and they well taken care of. They happy as shit out there. I got a wife and she, hey big daddy, like, and I'll be feeling like a bum. But then I think like, damn, high school dropout, self-made entrepreneur, got a driver in the truck, dude, 15 years my senior. Hey boss, appreciate you, man. Happy Friday to you, boss. No doubt, man. You have a good weekend. Damn, CEO. Like, then I was walking in the gym. It's like, yo, man, count your small wins, little nigga. Count your small wins, bro, and stop focusing on the $1 million, so to speak, because I hate to be honest, like God telling me, I hate to bust your bubble, but that $1 million ain't nowhere near here, boy. That 10 million ain't nowhere near here unless you continue to do what? Strategize, continue to make multiple streams of income. Because if not, you depending on this, it's gonna take a long journey. So I started to realize, like, oh damn, this is why they make multiple streams of income. And every entrepreneur, I advise you to make multiple streams of income because Think about it. Rap didn't make Jay-Z a billionaire.
And not just multiple, but not just multiple, but sustainable.
Sustainable, multiple streams of income. Sustainable, multiple streams of income. Because Jay-Z didn't get rich off rap. Rap didn't make him a billionaire. Feel me? It helped him. It got him where he needed to be as far as his music career. But that when he got Ace of Spade, when he did Tidal, when he sold Rockefeller and created Rock Nation and started doing distribution deals for other artists, buying people's masters and getting them certain deals and shit, becoming that hub for people, he changed the game when he became the master of everything, like being like ownership. It changed the game.
Everybody used to sleep on Chameleonaire until they see him at the NBA Finals when the Warriors played the fucking Cavs, and they was like, "How the fuck is he down on the floor seats?" Just because you don't hear and see from somebody, don't mean got crazy money no more. Don't mean they ain't got businesses no more. And everybody swear that a rapper is getting millions of fucking dollars. Hell no.
Hell no.
Some of these rappers not touching no type of fucking money.
Some of
these NBA players that you see first getting in the league, you're on a rookie contract that lasts for about 2 to 3 years. You got to make that shit straight.
He the puppet. He the puppet.
You know what I'm saying? So what I need people to understand is, like, even on Instagram, like, just because you don't see somebody flashing jewelry on their neck and a watch and they got the biggest earrings shining and shit in the camera lens, it does not mean that a person does not have money. It does not mean that a person doesn't have nice things. It just means that you have to understand something. When you start touching a different status of life, a different stature, you start making different money you ain't never touched. There's a certain type of humbleness that got to come with that. And to be honest, you got real people out here that they really don't want everybody to know what they got and how much they worth and what their net worth is and all that. From what I heard, the Forbes list, you got to call into the motherfuckers and tell them you want to be on that shit. So it's like, in my opinion, it's like, it's like in the entertainment industry, that shit thrives for living for people's acceptance. For real. C. Lewis said all the time, when you live for people's acceptance, you're going to die in their rejection. So it's like when you become a superstar or entertainer of some sort, you notice that these people live for the acceptance of the people. You know what I'm saying? And if you really moving like that, you're going to find when these people don't accept you no more, you're going to have a rude awakening, because it's like you was doing all this shit for clout and you was doing all this shit to get a couple likes and shit like that, when it shouldn't be about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has an expiration date, even the industries you in. Don't nobody want to be a damn rapper, NBA player, football player for the rest of their damn life. You know what I mean? And you notice even with those industries that, like a LeBron James, for instance, and this is why he's my favorite basketball player. It ain't got shit to do with the NBA and how many championships he won. Ain't that. If you look at this man's business, look at his business file, from TV production to, he got a whole school. I mean, this man is, I don't want to speak on that man's business like that, but if you look at LeBron James and look up the businesses that he's involved in outside of basketball, that's where he's made billions of dollars. He's the only player in history to ever make $1 billion with NBA contracts. But he became more lucrative outside of the NBA when he started investing in himself, putting himself in different, arenas that he may not have been understood. But then how do you get those things? I got a team. He came back, put all his people on that he went to school with. His 5 friends, they all work for him, and they all getting paid. Same thing with Kevin Hart. Came back, took care of all the niggas that was on the road with him and doing this and making sure. And that's what it's about. Like, the people that's helping you get to where you got to go, without them, where would you be who you are? So you got to start investing in other stuff. Like, when I tell y'all get y'all credit right, or King tell y'all to get y'all credit right, or whomever, get your credit right. And once you get your credit right, whether you in a credit restoration, like if you in credit restoration, once that starts going where it needs to go, all right, let's think about what else we can do outside of this. Because now all I got to do now, I understand it. I know how to make it move. Now let's automate this shit. All I got to do is automate it. Okay, this is automated now. So my hands is off of this, not completely, but I'm not sitting here delegating everything with this business and trying to press every button. Okay, I got this queen to do this for me. I got this king to do this for me, right? All right, What else you want to? Or we want to do real estate? Let's get some property, because in the long grand scheme of things, no matter what we going through in the world, no matter what type of financial situation is, everybody needs a home. Everybody got to sleep somewhere. Everybody needs somewhere to lay their head. So why not get into real estate, get you a couple properties, and be able to make those liabilities into passive income, and you can have those in your generations for the rest of your life. Now, when we talking about outside of real estate, even learn about how to trade and do stocks. The things that's never going nowhere is trading, stocks, real estate, electric, even trade type of jobs, electricals, plumbing, carpentry. This shit is a need for no matter what, even in the future, this shit is going to be of need. And we don't have a lot of people in our brown community that do trades at all. Like, you got the iron workers. People sleep on them dudes. Them dudes making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, working for the electrical company or things like that. When I say, if you're going to work a job, at least work a job that you know you're going to be taken care of. You working for the electric company, you're going to make some money. You working for the plumbing company, you're going to make some money. And then you think about this, you in this job and you learning the skill. So when you leave the electric company, you know how to do electric. So why go to electrical job when you could just start your own electrical company? How do I start my electrical company? I got the experience. I don't got the bread. All right, let's get their credit right. Let's go get an LLC. Let's go put the LLC in the S corp. Go put the S corp in the trust fund. All right, my business is protected that way. All right, let me go. Where am I going to put my money at? Let me learn about life insurance, and let me learn the real deal about banks. Where should I really be putting my money? Right? Okay, I get the life insurance policy. Shit. I got over 100K in a banking account. Shit. Let me take 50,000 out of there and go put it in my life insurance policy. Let me see how this works. All right, let's say I need 10,000. Let me borrow 10,000 from the life insurance. See how this works. Oh shit, I made money off of borrowing this money, but I can't do that shit at a bank. Okay. Let me start liquidating this money out this bank account. I'm gonna leave maybe 5 to 10,000 left in that bank account. I'm gonna leave it there. You don't leave a lot of money in a bank at all. Put the money in there.
Like you should do
something.
Yeah, so you should, and the compound on C. Lewis thought, right? Like when he say his situation, even though it's lucrative and it's providing for his family, right? And that money is passing through, but he getting the lower end of what he may think or whatever it is, as much as he should. When you get to that point where you recognize that, is when you need to look at the business overall and see where you can fine tune it and adjust it. Because you use the word CEO, right? And people use that word, and a lot of people don't know the definition of that CEO and what that a real CEO job description is.
Right.
So, like, that's homework. You have to look at that. What his job description. That's at any company.
Chief Executive Officer.
Right. Look at the definition to see what his responsibility is, because if in your own company, that's your responsibility, and your responsibility is to maximize the profit of the company overall. That's one of your responsibilities. Exactly. So that means you need to go dissect into your company and say, okay, if I'm only netting $3,000 a month and I want to net more than that, where can I optimize in my business to produce me more money?
And as I did that, I swear it was I had to fire my driver. In order, because I got licensed. I got licensed. In order for me to pocket what I should be pocketing, I have to fire my driver and cut off that $4,000 to $5,000. That extra $4,000 to $5,000
right now
to the driver.
Now watch this though. So let's say you fire your driver. Now you making that other 4 to 5. Instead of you putting yourself back and being stuck, that extra 4 to 5 that you're making
right there. Right.
Right. That's one strategic.
That's one of them.
Right. And it's got to be strategic. So don't do it just for the money. So you do it to say, okay, if I was already comfortable and I was already cool and I was already surviving and everything else was taken care of and I was only making 2,000. Now I'm gonna get back in the field and make an extra 4,500. Yeah. I'm gonna keep living off of the 2,000. Yeah. That I was already comfortable. I'm not gonna change nothing. Lifestyle I'm adding no more bills. I'm not adding nothing. I'm not putting no more expenditures. But this 45,000, let's just say in 4 months, I'm gonna sacrifice 4 months, and I'm gonna sacrifice this 4 months, bringing in this extra 45 plus, because sometimes trucking it changes. So in 4 months, that's $18,000. I'm gonna take this 18,000, and now I'm gonna put it in a vehicle to make me close to what I'm sacrificing for that extra 45, so I can get back out of the truck and put my energy into whatever that new thing is and get that going.
You talking heavy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the calculation.
You see what I'm saying? That's what entrepreneurs, you solving up. Yeah, that's the core of what it is. And then you strategize. You just don't do it out of emotion or out of greed, because if you do that, you end up putting yourself in a situation you don't want to be in.
Man, listen. Hey, listen. I was like, OG, in my head, I was going to dial OG number like, OG, listen, it's been good. It's been good. I appreciate everything you've been doing.
Right. Indeed. And see, and look, yeah, that'd be great. But I'm gonna give you the conscious side of that at the same time, though, because as CEOs and as entrepreneurs and all of that, right?
Yeah.
The same thing in the workforce that as employees we complain about that we don't understand until you in it.
I think about this conversation,
that move you just make. And the reason being is this: if that person whose family is dependent on him to drive of what you paying him, your decision affects him too.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So now you got a moral. His livelihood and everything depends on you, the employment that you gave him to provide for his family. So now, now you got to balance. You have to balance out my wants and needs at the same time his wants and needs, because he's dependent upon you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And this is the other side of it. This is the other side of it that you have to admire and respect when you, because we always tend to come up and talk about corporations and this, that, big corporations and all that. But see, we ain't never had to make them decisions. It's easy to sit back and talk shit about something because it affects you as the employee. It affects you. But then when you on the other side and now you the employer, you know what I'm saying? And now you get a dose of what everybody that when you was talking shit about.
Facts.
Because now responsibility of their livelihood depended on you.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying? See, so it's always two sides to a coin, and it's easy to talk shit about something when you ain't got to make that decision. You can feel entitled to whatever you want,
bro. It's easy to talk about some shit you ain't experiencing or doing.
Listen,
super easy.
You ever had somebody come to you and tell you? You ever had somebody come to you and tell you like I remember when we started this journey, like we wanted this shit bad. Like I remember me and C. Lewis was up, bro. I'm telling you, this is when we was. I don't know. I remember one day we did an all-nighter, man. We did an all-nighter. And I can't really remember because this was in the beginning, but we did an all-nighter one night. We just doing laws and something about credit or some shit. And it's like, he really be the only one that be up like with me. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as before I started meeting other people, like, you know, and that's really for the longest time. That's what I said. You got to find somebody you can lock in with. You know, when these mentorships y'all go into or whatever it is people are in, I just want people to understand that you have people that are like-minded like you. This is where the networking comes into play. Your network is your net worth. And you got to think about it like this, like Donald Trump, when he told his story and he was like, I went broke. I had to make a phone call. How many people you got in your phone you could make a phone call to if the shit hit the fan today? Everything go down. Is there anybody in that phone of yours that you can call and say, hey, bro, hey, man, I need $500. I need a rack real quick. I got you next week. But I ain't got nothing. Can you do that? Because one of my mentors said you go through your phone, go through your Instagram, your social medias, and delete everybody and everything that don't persuade to what you're trying to do. Because if you're sitting here watching ass shaking videos all day on your Instagram, I mean, what is that? How's that elevating you? Where's that taking you? You know what I'm saying? Like you really are what you pay attention to, and you really are what you're around. If I'm around 6 dudes talking bullshit all day and not doing nothing, not getting shit done, you're waking up after 2 o'clock in the afternoon every single day. Hey man, well, shit, where you think you're gonna be at? And then it's like when you get around dudes that talk like, talk like this, maybe. It's not that we talking like we better than nobody. And I need people to understand, I never said I was better than nobody, and I'm not talking like I'm better than nobody. It's just that my brain has expanded because of the rooms that I've been in, the people I've been around, except nothing less but greatness. I can't get around great people and be talking bullshit and expecting people to accept me and giving me game when you're not even on the thinking cap. First of all, mentally, you're not even there to even understand and fathom this shit. How am I going to break it down to you? You don't even have your mental together. You mentally is not even there. But then you're mad because somebody's taught like, or it'd be like, I'm reading information, so much information. You cannot tell me nothing if you ain't read this shit. But then it's like, because they not reading or they don't want to read. If you don't read, you will not succeed. Let me tell y'all something. I started reading at 26. Like I'm talking about, like I read, but I ain't read like I do now. But I'm saying like that shit is like a hobby for me. I'm reading like it's my business. It's my job to read every day. And I'm telling you right now, like I don't care who you are. When you start opening books and reading and educating yourself and really learning things, your life will change because now you have new information to get you where you got to go. And a lot of us are moving off of information that we learned 10 years in high school, or if you 20 years out of schooling, that's 20-year-old information that you're still running off in 2022. And this is a whole different decade time. That 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old information you still moving on is not, it doesn't work anymore. It's done. It doesn't even matter anymore. Information changes every 18 months, as they say. So at the end of the day, if you're not staying abreast on how to use a cell phone, like something simple like this, some people do not know how to use this thing. I'm not talking about make a phone call, shoot a text message, shit like you don't know how to make this make you no type of money. All you do on it is this and this all day, texting. When if you can learn, I heard Young Dolph say this before he died. The person who can learn how to physically really work this thing will be rich for the rest of their days. And that's a fact. You making Wi-Fi money with this thing. You know what I'm saying? Even with your laptop, how much you paid for your laptop? Did you make the investment back off of the laptop that you bought it for? Like the laptop should be bringing you money because everything you want to know is on this motherfucker. You want to know how to start a business? Look it up on the laptop. You want to know how to get some money? Look it up on the laptop. You want to know how to get a house, a car, shit, get your credit better, learn how to stop trade art. It's on the internet, but we don't got time is the famous word people like to say. I don't got time. I got kids. Okay, well, let me tell you this. Your kids, they don't follow what you
Kids is doing it.
Yeah,
kids is doing it.
They don't follow what you say, they follow what you do. So at the end of the day, and I forgot who said this, but when you get that wake up call of, I got to wake up, I got to change my life, I got to do this, and you refuse to take the step to go elevate yourself, you're not only holding yourself back, but you might have a brother or a baby sister or a mother or a father. Somebody in the family is being waited on to open the doors for everybody. That's how it goes in the world. If you notice, that's how everything. It's always the one person of the family or the friendship group or in the relationship that find a way to break through the matrix seal. And then this is when everything for everybody else start coming around. So your blessing is going to bless everybody else. You keep wasting time. You notice the days is going through fast as shit now. You notice, the days going by fast as shit. You keep wasting time. You keep not trying to walk in the purpose. Every time you or you get to that point where you get some type of success and then you cool. I got this done today. I made this amount of money. I'm cool. No, them people are waiting for you. Like, and I had to really realize this. Like, I'm sitting here like, yo, man, why the fuck ain't nobody else trying to put themselves in position? So I'm not the only one, but this is when you ask for success, you didn't ask for the hate. You didn't ask for the hard work. You didn't ask for the consistently every day, got to wake up, do the same. You ask for what? The money, the cars, the material shit, the being happy to be able to do for. But this is what come with this shit. Everything you want come with something. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, everything in this life, it comes with some type of attachment that you got to take care of. You don't just get the blessing. And like, I ain't never met nobody who touched $1 million, $1 billion and everything was like that. Nah. If you think about it, everything kind of gets worse when you get more money, because now you got
that's why
family.
mindset. That's why mindset the first thing you need to work on.
You got family, friends who gonna start calling this phone that you ain't talked to in maybe 20, maybe 30 years, 10 years, and even don't even know their last name. You don't even know them, but they know you, right? And so now this is where you have to understand your blessing is your blessing. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to help people, but I'm not going broke for you. And what happens is everybody get hypnotized with hatred, because now you're at a status where you got people, girlfriends saying, you got homies saying your name, you got the kids saying your name, you on people TVs in their house, you on people's radios, your podcast is moving now, your live streams is moving, you got all these, everybody know you, and the people that be around you be the ones that you got to look for the most, because the idols turn into a rival now, and the friends become foes, because these same people was at the same place you was at trying to figure it out. But the difference between you and them is you was resilient. You never gave up, no matter how bad it got, no matter how dark it got, you stayed going, and they stopped. So because they stayed here and you kept going, you finally met your destination. But because they was on the same journey as you trying to get it, they feel like you owed them something. Hold on, bro. I was there with you too. We come from the same hood, the same sandbox. What the fuck you mean you leveled the fuck up? You got to take me with you. So I'm gonna tell you this. You start getting blessed with money, different nice things that you never had before, you better watch who you bless. Because I've seen a lot of people lose their blessing because, like Fantasia, look at her journey. Started on American Idol, had all them shows and shit like that, lost a couple dollars because you got people in the family now. I want to be a rapper because you singing now. I ain't never heard you rap a day in your life. Your mom want to open a business, but you ain't got the business information to be able to make the business successful and keep going. This brother or this cousin needs some money. This person needs some money. I've seen this and I've seen this in front of me. Mike, my aunt became the wealth builder of the family at one point in time. She was a lawyer, a big lawyer in the Philadelphia scene. And she was a very, I ain't looking at my aunt, but she was a good looking woman, beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? And she was in the scene of, when you're a lawyer, you getting big money. So you're dating, when McNabb was our quarterback and Westbrook was here, she dated a couple stars and shit. But then the downside that came with her job is, you got to think about this. She's a lawyer. What do you think about the dark side of that shit? You getting niggas locked the fuck up. You putting, I'm talking big time drug dealers away. And these people got connections on the street. So now my aunt got to worry about when she leaving and she like, this really happened. This situation really happened. She started getting harassed, right? This shit was in the news and all this shit. You can look all this up. It was public information. So the dude that owned PGW tried to date her. She ain't want to go. She ain't want to do it. That whole fucking for money in the industry, that shit is real, man. And business, that shit is real. She ain't want to. She ain't want to go out like that. So because you wouldn't give it up, so he started harassing to the point where she had to put chains on her door, and they cut the fucking chains off and broke in her shit. When she came home, her door wide open. She in the house, niggas busting, throwing bricks through the window. So she told somebody. She went and told, but nobody said nothing. So you got to think about this, like the mental, this shit is real. You going to work, you putting people away, you making all this money. Your son is in one of the greatest schools in Philadelphia, Penn State University. Your family is coming to you with all this money issues because now you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars and everybody knows what you're doing and what you're making. So now you got to take care. You taking care of everybody. You got your son in a good, expensive ass school. You just got a new car. You got a new house. You got all these things. And now you got stalkers. You got people stalking you. So then you go rope in your mouth and you go tell. But it doesn't get back to the right people. And this shit keeps happening. So what you think this shit is doing to her mental is fucking breaking her down. And mind you, she got the bar. She passed the bar test. She's got 3 different master degrees, all that. But if this ain't right, none of that shit matters. And, you know, sad to say, she kind of lost a little bit of her mind. She really, I've seen the breakdown, the collapse. Started gaining weight, stressed and out, lost the job. Then they got blackballed out of the system. Tried to apply for another lawyer job. Nobody wanted to take her on. So this is what happened. After she filed her complaint, all these other women start coming behind saying the same exact shit. And that's when they finally believed. But by then, my aunt already done lost her mind. She done lost some money. The son can't go to the school no more because, you know what I'm saying, you done gave all your fucking money out to the family. This is what I mean by learning how to say the fuck no. See, when I go live and I be saying this shit, motherfuckers be like, that's your family. I don't give a fuck who it is. At the end of the day, God bless me. He didn't bless y'all. And nobody's finna make me go broke for nothing. I'm gonna help. But I will not go without for nobody. Nobody. Not even mom and dad. I'm gonna put you on game.
What's the
position? Go ahead.
So what's the lesson, right? So in saying that, here's the lesson.
The lesson was seeing her lose everything.
No, I'm saying that's a lesson for you.
But
I'm saying in general. Yeah, that's a lesson for you. But I'm saying in general, because you got to witness the outcome of that, right? And that's also a public figure. So what I'm saying is this. Here's the real lesson in that, right? Don't nobody need to be in your business. And the only way people in your business to even know what you have is being on this social media platform flossing. Because tomorrow you could wake up and you could sell 1,000 customers could come hit your line tomorrow and get their credit repair fixed. You can make $500,000 tomorrow. The only way somebody gonna know you made $500,000 if you tell them or you floss and show that you made it.
On the joint and this and that, and I got this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And exactly. I get it. We in a time where when you accomplish something that you maybe thought was so far-fetched, like it wasn't possible, but you did this shit. First thing you want to do, yo, bro, I just touched that. But you got to think about who you talking to now. You told somebody you just made $100,000. They ain't never seen that type of money before. So guess what? In 2 days, yo, bro, I'm kind of going through some things right now. Can you let me hold $1,000? Time out. Pause the conversation. Why the fuck they calling me? Nigga, you was just on the phone 2 days prior. Hype this shit. Celebrate. Yo, I just made $100,000, bro. We out. Whatever you need, call me. Pause. Remember what you last said out your mouth? Whatever you need, call me. So nigga gonna call. This is where the art of learning comes to play. I gotta learn how to say no.
But here's the thing, though. You shouldn't even have
non-negotiable. It's very important.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? In negotiation, it takes 2 people to negotiate, right? And in negotiations, somebody is coming to the table for a want and a need, right? So up until you say something, that person has no interest in trying to negotiate with you. So the only way that person can approach you to try to negotiate anything with you is because you portrayed or relayed something that struck their attention in which they want to come negotiate for. You know what I'm saying? So in that situation, that's all controlled by you. That's all you to control the individual, because you can make all the money and never have to say nothing. You can help without having to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you know your mom, you can go fix your mama car. You know what I'm saying? You can go pay a bill for your mom or something, but that has nothing to do with how much money you got or what she thinks. Anybody can assume anything.
Yeah.
But what gives it away is your lifestyle change. You know what I'm saying? Your lifestyle change always give it away. You muted though, bro. You muted.
Now, my opinion. What do you? All right. Okay. Let's say start a business. you're not even thinking about all the money you about to make, but you know your shit. You start your business, you know your shit. Your shit is moving from the rip. Like you touching 20,000 a month, 40,000 a month off rip. More money you've ever seen in your life. What would you tell somebody who is touching some type of money, or even in their business are excelling at a rate that they did the math, but it's coming faster than what they thought it was going to come? And they're in the stage of so excited, like I want to help people. I want to tell this, but don't I like? You know what's going to come with
how
that.
does help? How does help correlate with how much you made?
It don't. I don't got to tell nobody that.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
And
I
helping
give you
people.
a prime. I can give you a prime example. Say your mom's car broke down. You want to get her a new car. When you approach that situation, you control the narrative. Oh, mom, damn. What happened? Shit. All right, man, let me get out here, man, see what I can find, man, and try to see if I can do something to help you and shit. Let me go see if I can borrow some money or something. Man, I want you out here, XYZ.
No, that's real shit. You know what? Some people got that.
You know what I'm saying? Because now, so now it's psychological. It's psychological. If you're willing to step out there and then take all of the heat from all the beggars, why not flip it around and make, okay, I had to go borrow this money to help fix your car.
But let me no, I'm sending you
no, that's a fact too. I would say this: the type of mom I got, and I didn't understand this till I got older.
I'll send you the application I have on here.
And I'm just saying this to be transparent. Like I don't got a bad mom, but you know, I became the man of my household real. You know, I got my first job when I was 16 years old. You know, my mom and dad was going through that phase in life where they didn't necessarily make sense for them to be together anymore because it was more toxic.
I'm gonna put mine in.
You know, my dad was
he said he wanted them. He said he wanted like 5. Like,
you can tell the difference. I'd say I said I got my job. You know, I was helping my mom out in the crib and all that, but I don't feel like it's a young man to be paying his mother's bills. My opinion, because at the end of the day, I'm in my own crib. I'm 29 years old. I'm my mom and dad. Give me money to pay these bills, pay the rent. So my whole thing is, if I created this debt or this bill that I got to do every month or whatever, how you gonna call somebody else to pay your shit? And that's how I look at parents with kids. Now, if your kid old as hell and they more than old enough to know better, then yeah. I mean, if you living at home, come on, bro. But coming up 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, why is your kids paying y'all rent? Why is your kids paying y'all bills? People want to say that's teaching responsibility. No, it's not. That's just you being fucking lazy and you don't got no hustle, so you don't want to go out here and work more. You created this shit. You brought this motherfucker in the world. It wasn't like you was fucking your man and hey, the kid came out of nowhere and said, yo, I want to be born. Can you make me? No, this is what come with sex. So it's just like I just feel like you want your kid, and let's go back to what I said about the adult report card. You can't tell your kid go to school, give you A's and B's and be an honor roll student, and then you coming home with fucking F's and D's on your adult report card. Your credit report ain't shit. Mom and dad always broke, never got no motherfucking money. I ain't never got, yeah. But you want your kids to be honor roll students in school, but you're not an honor roll adult in life. You know what I'm saying? And then it's hard shit going on in the house. And this is why a lot of kids start off late, blooming. Because you're doing so much taking care of mom and dad in the house, paying mom and dad bills, keeping shit on. I got a young boy I be picking up sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? This what he going through. And it's that cycle. Like my mom used to get her whole check taken from her. My great aunt, God rest her soul, used to take my aunt and her brother's whole check. They get paid Friday. They didn't even see a check. Fuck that. You don't even know how much you got paid. Drop that shit on the table. That's all you knew. Drop that shit on the table. And then you go start doing this to your own kids. And the cycle continues because now when your kids go, they're going to think, oh, well, let me take I don't believe in that shit. And I don't care what nobody say. That's my mom. Okay. That's my dad. Okay. At the end of the day, they got to hustle.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, but like it's like what
parents, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is your parent is going to stop the development of you if you fucking paying everything. It's not like your mom fucking you. You your son. You the son. You're not the lover. You're the son. So y'all someone help my mom.
No, I get your point, but I was saying that goes back to what we said earlier. You know, that goes back to what we said earlier. Like each generation had its flaws. That what you speaking of is one of those outlaws. The outliers are one of those. The outlier of that, and that's not unique. And that's the point I was making earlier. Like that's not unique. That is not a unique situation. That's a common situation. You know what I'm saying? That's a very common situation.
You know what I want to say real quick, bro. Like it's okay. We need intervention. Listen, we need economic redemption. We need economic redemption and financial intervention, bro. We need intervention. We need to have like a financial intervention in the house. Sit the families down. No, real talk, bro. Like this is no like point intended for the people like that, like us. I'm talking about us as a whole. Really need to have like interventions with our families, bro. Like I told my people, like this is real talk.
Yeah.
I got brothers, you know what I'm saying? Blood brothers. Don't call me. No, bro. Like no, like you laughing. Like,
no, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at. He said.
No, I'm serious. I'm being serious. Like it's so much love. All right, my oldest brother, right? Whom I looked up to growing up, and my mind was made up at 12 years old. I'm hitting the block. 12 years old. I'm Lil Freeman brother. Like I was known as Lil Freeman brother. So I was inspired, feel me, in so many ways. But as I got older, it's certain things that begin to stand out. You know what I'm saying? And now that, you know what I'm saying, now I'm at where I'm at. I told all my family members what I was about to do. I said, I'm about to run this credit shit up, bro. I'm about to turn it. And everybody was a free client around the time. The only ones that moved was the ones that started seeing. And it's a lot of them that didn't. But now that I got me up, my sisters up, one of my brothers up, the homies up, the team up, niggas want to call me years later. Y'all, I'm trying to get my credit right. Are you kidding me, bro? So when I say make it like now, you know how when you get into mentorships, this is real talk, bro. You got to teach financial discipline. You got to teach how to spiritually invest in yourself. So once I started getting into these like disciplinary acts for myself on how to invest, take my money, knowing I want to do this, but take my money and make an investment on myself. So I mentioned like, yo, we got to monitor your credit. You know what I'm saying? Do my methods and shit. I need you to pay for identity IQ or something. Man, I can't afford, man. I can't do that. It's $30 a month, bro. It's just $30 a month. I can't help you then. Bro, you know, now
spend that same $30 on spend that thing 30 on the side.
Little stuff that started to make sense to me about how we really need financial intervention in every household. Because guess, like you said it earlier, like how, like even the game, nigga, one make it, nigga, what? You taking care of the whole strip. You gonna take care of everybody. Everybody got to eat off this one successful individual. Yeah. Instead of saying, yo, bro, what you do, bro? Right? Instead of being like, I'm just speaking for me. I'm that. Like, yo, bro, how you do that? How that work, bro? Hey, yo, man, you got to make sure you do such and such. What that word mean? Feel me? I'm that. That's who I am. That nigga don't know what that mean. I don't give a fuck, bro. I ain't know what it mean. I was always that, even growing up, nigga. Like, yo, how you do that? Damn, bro. All I got to do is that. Like, you got to have that type mindset. So when I started developing that, and I started seeing it work in my favor, to be intentional with every decision you make, especially when it comes to the bread and butter, bro. You got to be intentional. So I just learned how to discipline myself, bro, and then. No is very powerful, bro, regardless of family or not. And then I lost the most important person in my fucking life, my mom, bro. My mom passed away. You feel me? My mom left here. So I'm like, Shit, nigga, like, nigga, nah, I ain't got time to babysit nobody. Ain't got time to babysit nobody or hold hands or allow people to come up with excuses that I know is just bullshit. Right?
Yeah, man.
So
Sometimes you gotta run a litmus test.
A what?
A litmus test. Sometimes you gotta run a litmus test. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have, you might create a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? That T-shirt might be $15. And you hit up all your friends and all your family members, send them a text and be like, I came up with this shirt, man, buy this shirt. And see who buy a shirt from you. Because if you can't buy a $15 shirt from me, that means you ain't trying to support me no way. So later on, when you come back around, so if you come back around later on, you know what I'm saying, and you asking me for something, I can't support you either.
I mean, does it? I mean, I'm not talking crazy by saying that though, right? You feel what I'm saying?
No, absolutely not.
To like, nah, bro, because don't nobody deserve your energy or your time, bro, blood or not, bro, because it's called investment. And then we say it all the time, Jay. Shit, we know the true meanings of these words when it comes to family. The words that's used in family. We know what these shits mean. So
because anybody that want to support you or see you better, they're gonna do it off the muscle. You're not gonna have to convince them. You're not gonna have to give them no speech and none of that. You ain't got to do none of that. I tell people, I tell people all the time, like you never know who's watching.
I'm not the smartest man in the room, and I know me, bro. Like I share my story with everybody. I'm a high school dropout. I don't know that much. I don't know a lot, but know enough to know I know a lot, right? So you can't get too much past me, bro. So I know if it makes sense to me, and I'm not the smartest man on the planet, it gotta make sense to you. It gotta make sense to you because I'm a simple motherfucker. I'm real simple, but I'm super intelligent, obviously. So if I could point something out that seems so simple, I know this. I know you gotta see this shit, bro. But for it to be like a blind, like for a blind eye to be around, that's scary. I'm like, oh man, I don't know about them individuals, bro. And they might share the same blood as you. You got to be careful.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? People will look at you and discredit what you're doing and what you've done, just on the principle, like what you said. I'm a high school dropout. People discredit you and feel like you don't know nothing, just on the principle of that, right? But let's say you had finished school.
Yeah.
From the time you dropped out and however many years you had left, you finished. Would it have made you any smarter than you are now? No.
Nah, because every
bit of me,
everything that I got was, you know what I'm saying, from me being intentional about learning, and then reading. You know what I'm saying? Taking my own time.
And that's my point. Exactly. The experience outweighs what you didn't finish. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
In society, they make you feel like because you didn't get your high school diploma, you stupid or you dumb when you at the bottom of the chain. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
And then like 80,
because you get out here in this world early
enough. It's a high percentage of us that feel like that, though. You know what I mean? And I'm not in that percentage, but what I'm saying is that's why I make the point. If I see it or even feel it, I know you see it or even feel that shit because I'm not your average Joe. But it's a lot of average Joe and Janices out there that deal with average bullshit on a regular day-to-day basis. You feel me? So, like, what we talking about is what people deal with every day. Like, damn, bro, I ain't gonna be able to accomplish that. I'm a high school dropout. Or they ain't gonna look at me like that, bro. I got dreads. Or whatever the case may be. Niggas come up with 1,000 excuses when I know that's just an illusion. Or what, you know what I'm saying, America gave us to deem as true. You feel what I'm saying? We have to heal though, bro. We got a lot of healing to do, man. Us as a people, we got to learn.
That's for sure.
We got a lot of healing to do. We got a lot of healing to do.
Yeah,
that's why I said like this financial intervention needs to take place.
Yeah.
Real talk.
That's the root of it all. That's the root of it all. That's the anchor that's holding the boat. That's the anchor that's holding the boat.
It's all due to the wealth gap. It's all due to the wealth gap. But ain't nothing else because we love each other as a people, obviously. We could create cultures and fall in love with each other through culture.
Yep.
So it ain't
and that's why I asked that
we
question.
don't love each other. It's the financial
That's
gap.
why I asked that question about. That's why I asked that question about the simplicity of, you know, that transition in entrepreneur. Like, can you can see that it doesn't take as much as society's presented. You know what I'm saying? Once you in it, and you can see how it works, and you get those nuts and bolts that you know, that mental come in, because that's already inside of our ancestors was creators. We just, once you got the formula, you like, oh, I can do this over and over again. It's nothing. It becomes natural.
This ain't shit. Blindfolded.
This ain't nothing. This easy. Oh, this is all this. I can replicate this all day long. It's light work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's light work.
I feel like these are the type of conversations that need to be had way more. And I just feel like,
family, what's up, y'all?
We've
been financially exploited, man.
They get overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the conversations we need to have with, as like, even at home as individuals. Like, these are the type of stuff that need to get brought up. It just like when you have to have a conversation and you have to really think. Like, you have to like have deep conversations about life and different things. Like, I just feel like we should all, now that I'm in the lane I'm in, and I've learned the stuff I've learned more on Instagram than I've learned in my life in fucking school. And I script out of that. I've learned way more on Instagram in the last 2 years than I've ever learned in the school setting ever. I learned how to put a business together. I learned how to get an LLC EIN. I never learned none of that stuff in no school, no nothing. I learned about credit. I didn't learn about nothing like that in school. And when I did ask the teacher about credit, she told me I didn't need it. Don't worry about it, baby. That was what she told me. So had I listened, I would still not have no credit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people will place their ignorance on you because you fuck something up where they don't know how to do something, and then have you out here like, no, you shouldn't do that neither. My teacher told me not to do that, man. Your teacher got you fucked up. That's why your ass ain't got no money.
I wonder if that teacher got a son. She probably told him the same thing.
Putting your ignorance on other people because you are not capable of. Even if you do fuck the credit up. Most people who tell you don't get credit, they telling you that because they fuck they shit up and they don't know how to fix it. Anytime, and that's with anything in life. Somebody tell you, yo, don't get that hard because it's an American.
Everybody, look, everybody has. I'm gonna close out with this one, right? Everybody has the aptitude to learn. Everybody learn different though. Some are high level learners, some are low level learners, but everybody has the aptitude to learn. And in order to learn, you got to apply yourself. In order to learn, you got to unlearn to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the stuff, like I said, one of the profound questions I was ever asked in my 47 years on this planet was, who told you to feel like that? You know what I'm saying? And it's an open-ended question for a reason, because you have to really evaluate who told you to feel like that in every aspect of your life. Period. From the time getting angry, who told you, who was the first person to tell you that action requires you to be angry? You know what I'm saying? Who told you that? You know what I'm saying? And you can take if you dissect every aspect from an emotional standpoint and everything else, who told you that? You'd be surprised that this whole time you ain't never told yourself shit. You've been moving by what everybody else told you.
You ain't never told yourself shit.
You ain't never told yourself shit. You never told yourself to go to church. Somebody told you to go to church. You never told yourself anything. Somebody always told you. And then when you got to the point where you start asking yourself stuff, is when you start questioning things. Because prior to, you didn't question anything.
You didn't know nothing neither. You was conditioned to know everything that you know.
Right. Because somebody told you. And you adopted that. And you took that and you carried that throughout life, depending on how old you are now, whether you 20 or whether you 60. Somebody told you something. Somebody told you what a marriage was. Somebody told you how you supposed to be in a relationship with a woman. Somebody told you all of those things.
You know what it is?
But then when you experience when you experience those things, and then you get into those experiences and you realize this experience is not for me because it don't resonate with you. But now you're in the conflict because you think it's wrong because somebody done told you it was wrong.
You know what my dad used to tell me? This is fucked up too. What you saying is very true. If you keep listening to somebody else, you'll be fucked up your whole life. My dad used to be like, because him and my mom broke up. So you know when a man break up with a woman, you know, they kind of tell how they really feel. Even though it's my mom, I can understand. You know, he was with her. I wasn't. That's my mom. Wasn't dealing with her. You was. So whatever flaws she came with or whatever, you dealt with that shit. And I get it. It get to a point you don't want to deal with shit no more. But it's like, even with that, it's like, tell me after the fact they split up, like, you don't need no woman, you don't need this and that, and a motherfucker who listens to shit like that literally takes that, you will fuck them over in life because now you got this understanding of, you know what, my dad said I don't need no. My dad said I don't need. I get, you know, that. Now that's your attitude towards women. I don't need no woman. I don't need. If you want to be alone forever, use that shit, okay? To see how much love you have in your life. I'm telling you right now, you fuck around, you live off the mindset of I don't need no motherfucking woman.
You gotta stay far away from them kind of cats.
Stay away from them type of niggas, man. Cause them niggas be the niggas that have you no pussy, no nothing, no marriage, no kids, no nothing. You get stuck with that mentality. Yeah, stay away from women. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, who told you? Who told you to feel like that?
But then again, a nigga that's talking like that must have did some foul ass shit for you to be saying that. Shorty all women ain't shit. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just
somebody told him that.
Right. Watch who y'all listening to and take it. I'm telling you, listen to the wrong information. That should have you locked up or by yourself for the rest of your life. Because somebody told you, don't get your credit right. Hey man, you don't need to love no woman. You got yourself. I'm telling you, man.
Nah, this is definitely dope, man. I appreciate this conversation, man.
This is
just episode. This is just
dialogue.
This is just episode one, bro.
Yeah. So I was
nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying?
I was wanting to say real quick, man. To the point of it being episode one. That's why I said earlier, man. It ain't enough time on these streams for us to really dig deep. So y'all stick around, man. And I appreciate it, bro. Like, yeah, I can't wait to the next one.
Bro, this shit.
No doubt.
This is a different experience.
Like Nate over there.
This is all different.
My nephew. Yeah,
Nate, like,
you know he like talking.
This at work though. I like this. Yo.
Shit, man.
And you know what's crazy? This is what I mean. You gotta meet the right people. Because the right people
you gotta have the right circle
to your greatness.
Yeah. Word. Shout out to the Yoda Nose, man. Shout out to the homie, the credit Yoda, man. Y'all boys.
Make sure y'all follow my nephews.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Word up. Appreciate you.